Hello everybody, it is Emery48 here and welcome back to another video. Today we are diving into a little bit of sports. Hockey East has been something I've covered a fair amount of times on this channel. We've touched on it a couple of times, and I've gone to a lot of games in the last couple of seasons. As a Merrimack alum, I was at a lot of games while I was on campus, basically every home game, with the band. And since then I have gone to home, away, and even non-Merrimack games in the last couple of seasons. So I wanted to do a pre-season prediction like I do with some other sports and playoffs for many sports. But I think an important thing to do is to start off by looking at the pre-season poll, which I have right here. There's some things that aren't surprising and some things that to me are a little odd. We start off Boston University up at top. That's a spot I agree with. And at the bottom, UVM, number 11. I think both of those are great picks by the coaches poll. Vermont at the bottom is a safe pick at the start of a hockey year, really. And BU at the top, they looked really good last year and maintained more players than most of the top teams. Things that really surprised me was how far off Maine and BC fell. That I was not expecting. I know BC lost a few players, didn't play great in the national tournament or the Hockey East tournament, but them falling to 5th, also them spelling college wrong on the Hockey East website is kind of impressive. That's good. But those are two things that I think both of them. Maine potentially is. I think they both go up. I don't know. But then who out of UConn and Providence do you drop? That is a tough choice. UMass at 6th. I feel like that's safe. Lowell and Northeastern being a tie. That just feels lazy to me. I feel like you need to pick one or the other coaches. Merrimack and New Hampshire at 9-10 is a pretty normal coaches poll placement. But there are places I'm going to disagree with this. I do disagree with this. So I'll go over my rankings. At the bottom, I do have UVM. I think that's smart. 10th, again, I'm going to agree and have UNH. 9th, I don't think Merrimack's going to come 9th. I think they'll come slightly above 9th. I'm going to be hopeful. I think UMass Lowell is 9th. I don't know where this 20-point margin, if that's even visible on. No, it's not. I'll move me up a little bit. This 20-point margin here, I don't know where they came up with that between Merrimack and Northeastern and Lowell. That seems like a bit much to me. I don't buy it. I think Lowell's 9th. In 8th, we're going to stick Merrimack. I'm not pushing them that far up, right? One spot. Give them a home game in the first round. I think that's safe. In 7th, instead of a tie for 7th, I think is Northeastern. UMass is pretty safely in their 6th spot. That feels good to me. I think they've got a good team and a good chance, but I don't see them getting a bye in the first round this year. Now, this is the big area where we're going to have to shift things. Unless I've absolutely missed what Providence has done in the offseason, which is looking highly likely, I'm putting Providence at 5th. They looked good last year, but they didn't look great. UConn looked better, and I think they had injury issues in the Hockey East playoffs with goaltending, which is huge. And assuming that they're not injured this year, I think they stick back to where they were. So I put Providence in 5th. I do think BC will only go into 4th. I think anything other than top 4 for BC is an insane pick to me. I don't understand how they've dropped from 1st in Hockey East all the way to 5th. That, to me, just doesn't make sense. I would shift UConn down. No, I can't shift UConn down. I've put Providence in 5th, BC in fourth. I have to leave UConn in third. I want them fourth. No, because then that would just give me the same matchup this year as last year. Providence and UConn 4-5. I don't know. I guess maybe UConn's improved slightly, and they're the 3. I think Maine's still the 2 in Hockey East. I don't see them dropping all the way to 4th. These two dropping 4th, 5th after being 1-2 is nuts. But then BU would be my top. So I do disagree with the coaches poll a little bit. I believe this means that they have 7 of the coaches picked them to come first. 3 picked Providence. And I wonder if that's just Maine picking themselves to go first. So I feel like that would be kind of strange if Maine didn't pick themselves to go first, I think, this year. Or I guess it would be strange for someone else, too, if they didn't, right? If there was 2 there, then I'd be like, one of them's Maine. But if they aren't picking themselves, that to me is a little strange. So I do agree with the coaches poll for the most part. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with my Hockey East season prediction. And I can't wait to get to some games this year. I have a few in mind. One of the ones that I wanted to go to as a non-conference game was Michigan State coming to Boston University, and those tickets are like $85. So that ain't worth it for a non-conference regular season game. So if you got tickets to that game, have fun. Looks like a great matchup. The 2 and the 3 preseason national rank. Looks like a great game of college hockey. That's all I have for today's video. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.